gathered to celebrate once again. One more time. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Good. If you want your jazz lesson for the morning, it helps to go 2, 3, 2. What this does is it makes the voice swing a little bit. It makes you sing a little lighter, and it makes you sing with a bounce to it. Watch what happens. 1, 2, 3. Gathering. I love that low note in our voices. That's very, once again. That was very nice. Good morning, everyone. It's time to sing again. That was the warm-up to the warm-up. And now the warm-up is here for our morning of community together. The hymn is gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Wow, you got here fast.
There's a shortcut right here.
Wow. Wow, secret passageways as you learn the church. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Gathered here in one strong body. Your pack. No, I'm talking about your. Gathered here in the struggle and the power.
Gathered here in the struggle and the power.
Spirit, draw near.
Spirit, draw near.
Oh, you have it. Yes,
It's
yes.
a wonderful
One
body.
strong body.
One
yes.
strong body.
Okay, we need help remembering this, so I think we use hand gestures or arm gestures. Can someone help me out with one for gathered here in the mystery of the hour? Mystery. How does mystery look in your hands? Okay, I saw this. I saw one of these. That works too. Okay, gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Okay, so it's something with the fingers, something with the hands, something mysterious, okay? That's what we got. Gathered here in one strong body. How do we do that one? Okay. Yes, I saw los brazos. Yes, sí. Yes. Cool. Okay. Gathered here in the struggle and the power. Struggle and power. Yeah. That was nice. Struggle and the power. I saw. Spirit, draw near. Yes. Spirit. Would you do yours again? I see spirit draw near. And then, yeah, so I'm seeing these gestures. Yeah. It's interesting to me, every time we do hand signals with spirit, it's always symmetrical. I don't know why that is. I think it's because spirit means breath. And the lungs are symmetrical often. Yeah. Think about that. All right. So gathered here in the mystery of the hour, practice with me. Gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit, draw near. Okay. Would you rise? Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit, draw near. One more time. Gathered gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. Follow, you lead them.
Gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Gathered here in one strong body.
Gathered here in one strong body. Gathered here in the struggle and the power.
Gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Gathered here in one strong body.
Gathered here in one strong body. Gathered in the struggle and the power.
Spirit, draw near.
Open up, okay? Gathered here in one strong body. Gathered here in one strong body. Gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. 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 Spirit. Spirit, draw near. Keep going. Spirit, draw near. 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 So may it be.
I co-organized a new secret society. One none of us actually wanted to be in. A dozen of us nervously gathered in my coworker's home after work. It's mostly women, and I'm frankly surprised the few men in our office showed up. We range from college undergrads to people with PhDs. One person of color, the rest were white. Some of us barely knew each other. Others were old friends. We sat in a big, anxious circle in the living room. We gathered because our boss badly hurt most of us. One by one, we told our own stories of the harmful experiences with him. Until recently, we had each believed we were the only victim. But among friends, I'm known as the designated extrovert. So naturally, I broke the silence and got people talking, which eventually led to that night in my coworker's home, with everyone finally sitting down together. Somehow, I always felt self-righteous confidence in what I endured and what I did about it. But for those who still held self-doubt or shame about their experiences, hearing others' similar stories provided the utmost validation, which I felt grateful we could give each other. Some folks experienced little or no mistreatment, but listened compassionately to the rest. Some folks admitted that they knew something was happening, but they stayed silent, and I struggled to forgive them. Together we cried, we laughed awkwardly. To be honest, forming an adult secret society to confront and oppose a terrible villain feels a little weird. And we became empowered. Together we felt safe, grounded, sane, and most of all, understood and connected. With that grace and power, we toppled injustice. And isn't that why we come to church? Welcome, dear community, to a circle where grace sets the table and kindness serves the feast. Here, every soul contributes to the banquet of our shared experience. Let us extend a gentle gesture of this grace now. Turn to one another with a smile as bright as a candle's flame, offering and receiving the warmth that invites us to stay at the table together. Thank you. Thank you. Today's table is graced by those who pour their heart into every note and word. I'm Sherry Merriam, one of your worship associates and a member of this community. Many people have joined together to make this service happen, each bringing a special addition to the feast of community and spirit before us now. People like John and Olu, Dr. Glenn Thomas, Reverend Arif, Reverend Jen on the tech with our community out there in the world. Hello, all of you out there in Zoom land. And our greeters and ushers and artists like Paolo and the visual artist who created this arrangement to bring the beauty of the world from all over our planet and remind us of that beauty. And now, will you join us and help set the table? Let's engage in an act of communal grace in our 3 breaths collective. Take a breath to receive love, a breath to offer resilience, take a breath to promise our presence to one another. Ready? 1, 2, 3. As we ready ourselves to light the chalice flame, I invite you to bring your hands together, as if gently holding the flame that symbolizes our covenant. Through this physical connection, we acknowledge that staying at the table starts with the grace we embody together. Vivian, will you come and lead us in lighting the chalice? And as the fire starts, let your hands fall to your lap in a restful pose, feeling the grace we carry within. Quietly, let us speak the words that weave us tightly in unity and compassion. Our covenant spoken as a promise to endure. Together, let us say, love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Jenna, thank you for leading us and reigniting the flame. I'm sorry, Vivian, thank you. Thank you for leading us and reigniting the flame that guides our path. Thank you, Vivian. Staying at the table is not just about sitting down. It's about leaning in, listening, and loving with generosity. If we are what we eat, and we truly are, then let us season our days with laughter and empathy and feast at the banquet of beloved community right here, right now. Welcome one and all to this sacred table of togetherness.
You may know this already, but there's a holiday coming up. Yes. Just after Halloween is Christmas, yes. There's a holiday coming up that calls in us a spirit of thanksgiving. There are all times are times for Thanksgiving, but this is a season that we dedicate to make sure that we remember. It reminds me of all of the practices my family has had over food and meals growing up. Yeah, there are two I can remember right now. One, my mother and I used to love to drive to a very particular McDonald's and get an ice cream cone and a large fry and dip the French fries into the ice cream cone. Oh, did I? Oh, did I? I just went down some of y'all's street. Okay. Okay. I didn't know y'all were with me. Well, okay, cool. Okay. The other one is, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, also dessert related. What is that telling me? My grandmother, since I was about 4 years old, and she found out that I loved all things apple, and I especially loved apple pie. She made, for Thanksgiving, she made an apple pie for the family, and one apple pie for 4-year-old me. And she did every year, including this one. Even when I couldn't go home, she would call and say, I wanted you to know that the Glenn Thomas Rideout pie has been made. I don't know how long it'll be before your uncles eat it, but it was prepared. There are many ways that we engage in food together. We don't just eat. There are traditions that we have. If you think really hard, there are things that you do all the time with your family or by yourself. I'd love for us to share those with each other. So I think the way we do it is we find a couple of people, maybe one or two at least, that are not in your family group, if you came with people, and let's get together and share some. What do you do? What are your traditions? And then afterward, I'm going to ask for some of them. Yes, I'm going to ask for that hand, okay, in just a moment. Right now, tell people, what are your traditions? What are your traditions? I'll get us started. There are so many. My goodness. Okay, you want to get us started? Oh, hold on. We're gonna let everybody finish their sentence, and then we'll be right there. Yep. Those are long sentences. Jeez. Okay, real loud so I can hear. Your birthday's the day after Thanksgiving. Well, that is a mighty nice tradition. Well picked. Yes. What are your traditions? Yeah, what are you? Most of your family comes over to your house. Great. Yeah. What else do you? What else? Yes.
My mom makes cranberry salsa.
Your mom makes cranberry salsa. I'm one of the can guys myself. I don't know. I feel like that might be a sin in Minnesota. Is that? Okay. All right. Yes.
Isla's family does theme, and this year's theme is Taylor Swift.
What? Okay. Their family does themes, and this year the theme is Taylor Swift. How do you do that? Okay. Yes. Wow, you usually go to your cabin, and this year there's going to be 33 people at the cabin. Do you know any of them? Thank you. Okay, I saw a couple hands over here. Yes, I see you. We make bread. What's your favorite kind to make?
Dinner rolls with sweet potatoes.
I'm there. No matter what you said, I would have said I'm there. Yes. Pistachio salad. I've never had that. Whoa. Okay, cool. Yes. 3 birthdays in 10 days. My. Wow. Okay, one last one. Yes.
On Thanksgiving, me and my family make pie that tastes like candy, and we put sticky nuts on it.
Pie that tastes like candy? And then you put what on it?
We put nuts that look like brains, but they're not.
You put, oh, nuts that look like brains. I think that's a walnut. Am I right about that? Oh, or a pecan? A pecan. Yes. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Yes. Fantastic. Is it? Anyone in here? Anyone in here have a family with a tradition of words that you say before, or yeah, I have them too, and it's sometimes, even though I'm not of the same kind of religion that I was when I was a kid, I find sometimes myself with my ice cream and fries saying the same words that I said when I was 3 years old. And these are the things that anchor us, right? These are the things that help us to feel the grounding in being alive, way back to our earliest days. These are the very elegant and gentle ways that we welcome each other to the table. Elegance. It's probably why we call it grace. And so for all of the traditions that we share, all of the traditions that we hold together, and all of the nuts shaped like brains that make our desserts delightful, may we be blessed in those lessons to bring grace to each other and to bless each other with the elegance of our smiles when we see each other's faces. May that ever be so, that we start with grace. Friends, it's time for our transition into different parts of the room. Some of us are staying right here. Some of us are staying right where you are. No matter where you go, may you go with grace. May you journey with love. May you be a blessing, and may the world be a blessing to you until we meet again, and always K through 6. I think, oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here, and those far away, for this time we share, with love and care, Oh, we give thanks. Ain't for this precious day. One more time we give thanks. Oh, we give for this precious day, for this precious, for all gathered here, and those far away, and those far away. For this time we share, for this time we share, with love and care, with love and care. Oh, we give thanks. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for this precious day.
Good morning. My name is Jeff Snyder, and I'm on the First Universalist Board of Trustees. Newest members among us, I invite you to make your way up to the chancel using the stairs or the ramp. And congregation, let's sing them up to the chancel with "Come, Come, Wherever You Are."
Come, come, wherever you are, under the lover of thee, causes no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, wherever you are, under the lover of thee, causes no caravan of despair. Come, yet again
Today we keep a 164-year tradition in motion. Wanderers, worshipers, lovers of leaving have joined, have said yes to becoming members of this congregation. This morning we celebrate their commitment and welcome them with joy to First Universalist Church of Minneapolis. We who are physically in this space are not the only ones who gather in to bear witness and celebrate. We light a candle to honor past members who helped to found and form this community. Their dreams and generosity, their promises and practices show us what is possible. We call their memories to our hearts and their spirits to our celebration. We light a candle now to remember that community will continue beyond us. May a community well-loved and well-kept be our gift to the next generations. We call the generations yet to arrive to our hearts and their spirits to our celebration.
My name is Mark Gorlick. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm also a member of the Board of Trustees here at First Universalist. Celebrating new membership is a way we acknowledge, in ritual and in public, that we are here, that others have made it possible for us to be here, and that we join them in the great web of connection. We celebrate that when we engage membership deeply and sustainably, listening to the call of love throughout the seasons of our lives, we will transform and be transformed. 11 new members have joined our congregation this season, and here are their names. Joining us at the 9 o'clock service, we had Mary Margaret McGee, Jim Murphy, and Marinda Brayfield. And here with us now, Amelia Marquez, Nicholas Bolden, Peter Benwitz, Chad Reel, C.T. Neil Herman, Raylan Rassett, and Jessica Hoffman. And then unable to join us in the sanctuary this morning is Tanya Lowerens. As a celebration of your new membership, we offer you each a gift. Now, our senior high youth made homemade cookies for a variety of diets and wrote heartfelt messages of welcome. We also offer a chalice. The chalice's design shows many pieces of glass representing our unique lights that together make one whole orb that carries the flame. With the chalice, you'll also find 4 stones. Each represents one way we keep our membership relevant, engaged, and sustaining. Through individual spiritual practice, through acting for justice, through stewardship, and through building and strengthening community. And for those who haven't yet received one, the gift contains your name tag. It's one of the tools that we use to help us remember each other when we gather. So we'll have new members. Please return to your places in the sanctuary among this community that welcomes you.
My name is Liz Farmer, and I'm the membership coordinator. And when we welcome new members, it can be helpful to honor and celebrate all of the ways that we all have or can engage our membership over the years, to show ourselves that we participate in so many capacities and ways of showing up. Membership is more than tenure, more than administration, and more than status. So we're going to show each other that. We're going to show each other this web of connection and possibilities. So, if you have engaged your membership through establishing a regular spiritual practice, or maybe trying one on, will you please rise as you're able and make some noise? Woo, woo. And stay as you are able, stay risen. If you have engaged your membership by acting on the call of justice, by working on a faithful action team, by volunteering with any of our community partners like Habitat or Augsburg Fairview Academy, will you please rise and make some noise? Woo-hoo! If you have stewarded this community by giving financially, by being on the board or a committee, or contributing to fundraising efforts, will you please rise and make some noise? And if you have built community by joining or facilitating a small group, attending a community dinner, delivering a meal, if you've introduced yourself and learned someone's name, if you shared your story with another, will you please rise as you are able and make some noise? And now everyone gathered here, members, visitors, friends, all the people gathered, will you please rise as you are able? And I invite you to find someone near you to maybe touch or hook elbows with. Maybe join hands, reach across the aisle, up in the balcony, and take a moment to look around at this beautiful web of connections that we've woven, all of the ways that we engage our membership up in the balcony, online too. Our community is made like this, more beautiful, more connected when we do membership joyfully and authentically to change and be changed within our community. May it be so, and welcome new members.
This tapestry of diverse lives woven into a single united community, united by our shared will and the many individual paths that have led us here. I invite you to turn inward for a moment, a sacred moment of communion with the Spirit. Close your eyes, if you will, and anchor yourself in the breath that is breathing you. That same breath that once spoke awe into the heavens and savored the blessing of nourishment. I am breathing in the silence. I am breathing in the silence. I am breathing in. I am breathing. I am. Now, in this circle of faith and fellowship, I invite you to lift up what lies heavy on your heart. If you carry a joy so radiant that it begs to be shared, or a burden too tender for words, let us be your sanctuary.
My brother lives in Ohio. He's had end-stage Parkinson's for a number of years. His name is Steve. So people with him prayers.
Speak in all the ways that you will. Speak by typing. Speak by speaking. Speak in silence. Hold your hand over your heart and we will see you. A long-lost relative, now found. Yeah, yes. To all these prayers that we hold silent, that we hold in sound, that we hold together, let me add the request that we hold as a community our own Reverend Jen and her family in our prayers. Reverend Jen's brother Chris was recently hospitalized and is in serious condition. We hold all these moments, the ones that make us go, ah, the ones that make us go, the ones that have no sound, the breathtaking moments. We hold them together. Will you say with me, you are not alone? To every person, you are not alone. We are holding it together. And as we hold these stories and echoed joys, let's broaden our embrace. Because there's a world out there with valleys low enough to swallow the entire light of day. Valleys of injustice, valleys of pain, valleys of struggle. And so for our brothers, our sisters, our kindred caught in the tempest of oppression or the shadow of neglect, we pray for resolve and refuge. For our earth, groaning under the weight of our neglect, we pray for restoration and respect. Let's lift up our hearts in prayer for all that's unspoken. For the sick and the sorrowful, let the community say, heal. For our leaders who contemplate heavy decisions, we say, guide. For the children of our children, we say, teach. For the children living as adults right now, we say, learn. For the many moments that tempt us toward noise, let's say, silence. Be still. And let us be reminded in this moment how breath is so deeply available to us, now and always. Breathe in with me one more time. Remember that you are alive. And may the living memory of that living strengthen each of us. Give us hope. And may the holding of this community make the weight all lighter to bear. You are not alone. We are holding it together. So may that be our responsibility with each other. In grace, in peace, and in the name of love. Amen. Spirit of love, come unto me, come unto me. Sing in my heart, sing in my heart. All the stirrings of compassion, all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, blow in the wind. Rise in the sea, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, move in the, giving life the shape of justice, life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, roots hold me close. Wings set me free, wings set me free. Spirit of life, spirit of life, come to me, come to me, come to me. Amen. Family of faith, my good friends in Unitarian Universalism, with gratitude swelling in our hearts, with deeper breath to make some more noise of celebration, we acknowledge and celebrate the triumph of our collective spirit. Let me tell you, this week, through your unbounded generosity, for the Give to the Max campaign is what I'm talking about, we not only met our goal, but we exceeded our goal, raising over $6,000. Yes, yes. To expand the reach of love through our programs and our worship. Thank you, each and every one, for your contribution that has made this victory possible. But the work of love doesn't pause, and neither does the call to serve. In my travels, I wrote that. I was thinking about like other countries, but I live like 4 blocks down. In my travels, I carry this vial of our communal water that we gathered in at water communion. I sit it in the middle of tables at meetings. I bring this symbol of our shared commitment and our enduring support, and it's a vivid reminder that our actions must match the potency of our covenant. Today, we open our hearts once again as we unite our resources for Simpson Housing Services. They are the hands and feet of grace in Minneapolis, providing refuge and pathways to homefulness for families and individuals grappling with homelessness. This moment, we act. This moment, we transform our Thanksgiving into a lifeline, extending the energy of our surpassed goals to those still reaching for hope. Your offerings today will affirm our faith in abundance for all and enable Simpson Housing Services to persist and prevail in breaking the chains of poverty. We can have a hand in that right now. And we do not forget our own. If you find yourself in need of a tender hand, this church is your harbor. You find yourself in financial hardship, come and see me or any of our ministers. We will help you navigate toward the support you need and deserve. Let's carry forth the momentum of our campaign's success. Let your generosity ripple outward from this place, from this vial, into the lives that thirst for grace, the grace we have to offer. Generosity has spoken loudly this week. Let it speak again, gratefully. The ushers will now come to receive the morning's offering. I thank you in advance for your generosity. A need to be together. We have our thoughts to give. We have our thoughts to receive. And we believe that sharing is an answer. Oh, you didn't have to done, John. It's Christmas. John, everyone. This is one of the reminders, I think, that we get to experience that even when technology wants to have a larger role in the service than we had planned, that even our unexpected events give us the evidence that we are well cared for. So when something unexpected happens to you and someone carefully ducks in and offers you whatever the equivalent of a microphone. Take not for granted the privileged place of not being alone. So may it be. Look, y'all, how many people were at the after Thanksgiving service last year? Show of hands. We stood in a sukkah and we read a ritual together. Yes, I see. What's that? Was it before? The Sundays are running together. Okay. Well, if you weren't there, that's fantastic, because you have the opportunity to be there next week. Next week's our service is at 10 a.m. and we're going to honor this tradition that we did last year. Thanksgiving is a complicated holiday, y'all. It's not just Thanksgiving. People are having all kinds of experiences. And it's important that among the things that we do, we honor in our Unitarian Universalist faith. We honor, we acknowledge, we see, we lean into that complexity. This is one of the ways that we do that. And I invite you, especially if you have never went into that particular spiritual journey for yourself, to join the community in doing so. We honor the people who are under our feet right this moment. The indigenous peoples of this land and all lands. And we invite you to help us form the community that gives voice to that honor. Moving more deeply into the worship hour, a reading. Was that wrong? Reading? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got.
Okay.
Well, I wasn't going to read. I was just introducing.
Okay.
Just making way for you.
I thought you said a reef.
Oh, a reef.
A reading. A reading.
Okay, I get it.
Imagine with me a place where people are seated around a table with all types of beautiful, nourishing foods. Each person is holding a long spoon, long enough to reach all this delicious food, but too cumbersome to bring it back to their own mouth. Quarreling, frustration, and despair fill the air, for no one can eat. Though they're surrounded by a bounty, people are frustrated and unhappy. Now let's journey together to another place. Similar in every way, same table, same food, same long spoons. But the atmosphere here is radically different. It's filled with joy, satisfaction, and mutual care. How, you might ask? Simple. In this place, the people use their long spoons to feed each other.
Building bridges bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, brothers, we can make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, brothers, we can make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, brothers, we can make such sweet harmony.
Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions,
with all of our voices
such
and
sweet
all of our
harmony.
visions, brothers, we can
Building
make
bridges
such sweet
between our
harmony.
divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me?
I
With
reach
all
out
of
to
our
you,
voices
will you
and
reach
all
out
of
to
our
me?
visions,
With
neighbors,
all
we
of
can
our
make
voices
such
and
sweet
all of our
harmony.
visions, brothers, we can make such sweet harmony.
Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our voices,
and
brothers,
all
we
of
can
our
make
visions,
such
brothers,
sweet
we can
harmony.
make such sweet
Building
harmony.
bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions,
and
brothers,
all
we
of our
can make
visions,
such
brothers,
sweet
we can
harmony.
make such sweet harmony.
Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, brothers, we can make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, brothers, we can make such sweet harmony. 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 We can make such sweet harmony. Brothers, we can make such sweet harmony. We could, brothers, we can make such sweet harmony. 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 Brothers, we can make such sweet harmony.
I wanted to say Arif out to you at once.
It's going to be that kind of Sunday, huh? All right. I get it. Any of you have brunch reservations? Okay. What time are your reservations? You'll be fine. That's right. And we got a week coming. So, folks, my teaching ministers, supervisors in my internship, wrote this really lovely philosophy of worship for one of the churches that they served, in which they asserted that in Unitarian Universalist congregations, the message is consumed in the way that a Christian congregation would partake of the Lord's Supper. Consumed in order to participate in and create communion. So in this way, Let us say a word of grace before we partake together in this ritual of nourishment and sustenance. I should add that in Unitarian Universalism, when we celebrate communion, the members of the congregation serve each other. In that spirit, let us say a word of grace before we partake together in this ritual. This food is a gift of the whole universe, the earth, the sky, and much hard work. May we live in a way that is worthy to receive it. Our stories today have spoken to us of the necessity of grace, of creating a small space of gratitude and humility, a small space of recognition of our kingdom with those who are by our sides as we embark on the journey of table fellowship and shared food. And it is no accident that we do this today on the last Sunday before many of us will be gathering at table with others in our lives, hopefully all loved ones, and hopefully most genuinely liked, though let's be real, almost certainly not all. And that's okay. That's okay, right? We covenant to love one another, not to like one another. Not all the time. It's all good. And yet, even with that sort of knowing laughter, who amongst us did not have a moment's recognition of the starving and miserly group gathered around the stew pot in that story that Sherry shared with us? Who amongst us has not held the long-handled spoon, unable to recognize the common humanity and common sorrow that would connect us with those around us and thereby set us free? Ross Gay. Tessa, are you preaching with me? Awesome. If you want, you can come up here and preach with me. Ross Gay knows something of this shared and common sorrow. In the first essay in his collection, Inciting Joy, he writes of a potluck party for sorrow. How he gets there is kind of provocative, and it's well worth repeating at length, so please forgive this long quotation. Gay gets to sorrow not through advocacy for sorrow itself, but instead by inviting us to stop trying to avoid or quarantine ourselves from sorrow, but rather by inviting it in. Riffing a little bit on Rumi, he suggests that we invite sorrow to tea, make it comfortable, that we ask our sorrow about itself. In that conversation, he comes to see that sorrow has a lot to say to us, that in fact it might be an idea to invite others to come hear sorrow too, and hence this potluck for sorrow. He writes, we eventually decide to invite a small group of friends over for a potluck because we want sorrow to meet them. Sorrow says, maybe more than just your closest friends? So we add to the list a couple of acquaintances from work, the supermarket. We put our mechanic on the list, our chiropractor, and the neighbors that we wave to, but not much more. And when sorrow asks, what about that guy? Of someone we really don't like, after thinking, how did sorrow know that? We say, I hate that dude. Sorrow says, better invite him too. Okay, you say. And looking over your shoulder as the invite list grows, sorrow nudges you in the arm and says, maybe just invite anyone with some sorrow to bring along. Couldn't be too many people. Besides, sorrow says, looking around at your little house, this is a good-sized place. So we open it up, bring a dish, and your sorrows to share. We prepare a few staples with which sorrow helps, and then they start coming, in twos and threes and squads and families, so you just open the door front and back, because they are coming in droves, and the house is already too full, way too full, you think, but everyone squishes in, and somehow the house never fills up. I'd like you to meet my sorrow, we holler to each other, dipping the flatbread into the hummus or eating the kimchi with our fingers because the forks are long gone. Good to meet you, we shout, smiling and nodding at the sorrow, who also smiles and nods and half shrugs, raises their eyebrows. This is mine, we yell, pulling the spoon from the doll we're eating to point to our sorrow, who takes a bite of the lentils and laughs. And around those oatmeal raisin chocolate chip cookies gathers a gaggle of guests and their sorrows, giggling and pretending to fight over the last cookie, before one of their sorrows breaks it into 10 pieces, and they all take their bite from sorrow's hand, moaning like a choir. It goes on like this, growing louder and more raucous and ramshackle, this potluck of sorrows, and the dancing, which had been intermittent, just takes off. All of us and our sorrows, sweaty, stomping, shaking, tearing it up, the pictures falling off the walls, the books from the shelves. Riotous, this care, this carrying, this incitement, this joy. Ross Gay writes, "My hunch is that joy, emerging from our common sorrow, might draw us together. It might depolarize us and deatomize us enough that we can consider what in common we love. And though attending to what we hate in common is too often all the rage, and also happens to be very big business, noticing what we love in common and studying that might help us survive. It's why I think of joy, which gets us to love, as being a practice of survival." I love this image of Ross Gay's. All of us dancing with our and each other's sorrows. It is a provocative notion that our common sorrow is itself the ground of a common joy that is love, that is survival. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a provocative notion that flips Maslow on his head. The notion that love is the basis of our survival and that it roots in our shared sorrow. That we can't buy it or hoard it, just make it together. It is a heartful image. And also perhaps one that is hard to make real, even as we might long for it. And so, informed by the idea that sometimes church is about fortifying us for the week ahead, perhaps particularly on this week, I want to get really concrete for a minute here. Because you see, I think that Ross Gay is right. And it makes me wonder, what if, as we gather in the week ahead, we are knowingly or not inviting a potluck of our sorrows? Because we are, aren't we? We all carry them. Whether we carry them close to the surface or try to stuff them down in our pockets, each of us has our sorrow with us all the time. And just for a moment, imagine with me what would happen if we lived like that. If we saw each person around us with the sorrow that is right there beside them. Which is to say, what might happen if we perceived each other with grace? Now, I don't know about you, but to me that feels like kind of a tall order when the folks that we are greeting are folks that we have history with. A few years ago, I read The Book of Joy by the 14th Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. Have any of you read it? Yeah? Right? So you remember that part in the book where the Dalai Lama is asked how he deals with difficulties and fears as the leader of his people, right? A people in exile. And in the audiobook, he pauses a moment and then says roughly this. He says, "When I think of myself as the Dalai Lama, things are really hard. But when I think of myself as one of 8 billion people, when I remember that at this very moment there are millions of other people feeling the way that I am, then things are very easy, and I can do what's necessary." There's so much wisdom and learning in those few phrases. What I take him to be saying at core is that when any of us is wrapped up in our ego identity, when I'm a reef, when I am a minister of this church, when I am the father of my children, things are very hard because we're alone. But when we recall that we are but one of billions, that within that at any given moment, surely millions of people are feeling the way that we are right now. Which is to say, when we are united in our common sorrow, then things are very easy. We are not alone. We are united with others feeling just as we are, and we can do what needs to be done. Which is to say, we can feed another with the spoon that we hold and accept food from the spoon held by another. We don't normally see that, do we? We don't normally live from that place, that idea that we are one of 8 billion, that in any given moment there are likely millions feeling just the way that we are. That right there would be a good practice to tuck in a pocket for the week ahead. But let me make it even a little bit more concrete, if you need just a little bit more of a pathway. A couple of years ago, I was talking to a congregant. I have his permission to share this. He and I had just bonded over the fact that secretly we are both a little road ragey, at least in our heads. True fact. In our heads. And he shared with me what had turned things around for him. He said one day he realized that the folks in the cars that had really pissed him off, they might be people that he knew and loved and cared about from a small group that he was in. He said, I don't know that they are, but I don't know that they're not. He said, if they are that person, if they are John or Fred or Ellen or Lisa, I can't imagine that they would ever deliberately do something to hurt me, to spite me. If they did do something, it would be because there was a good reason. Maybe they were rushing to the hospital or something. And he said, what I realized is that I don't know who they are. I don't know what their rationale might be. And it's me making them into a jerk and a problem, not them. When I replaced the person who was anonymous with someone I knew and cared about, it completely changed how I felt and what they were doing. This is something that is available to all of us. In every moment, we can perceive each other through the lens of grace. And I want to propose, congregation, that this is what we are about. Practicing individually and together the things that help us to create a different world within ourselves, amongst us in community, and out there in the wider world. Which is to say that the world needs us, needs humans to be different. I mean, check this out. What if the first colonial settlers of this land had hearts that could see the common humanity, the common sorrow of the first peoples of this land? What I'm saying is that what we have been doing for the last several hundred years does not seem to be working out so well. I think it's time we stop doing the same old things, just more and harder, and expect it to work differently. It hasn't worked. It is not working. It is time for something different. And so I invite us into these practices because they are concrete ways to transform our hearts. Concrete ways to make more love in the world. Concrete ways to stay at the table with grace when things are easy, but more importantly, when things are hard. New members, I hope this is what you signed up for. And more so. More so, I hope that we will all work with these practices in the coming week. That we will come back next Sunday and talk about how it was. Talk about what was easy. Talk about what was hard. Talk about where we totally failed. Talk about where new spaces opened up that we hadn't known was possible. Knowing that with grace by our side, with our sorrows not far behind, and with love as our guide, this could be so. Amen. And if you need a little more to tuck in your pocket, here's a great song to take with you.
Buddy. And before we give, breath and tune and melody to this song, would you just repeat the words after me and let them sink into you? Love will guide us. Peace has tried us. Hope inside us will lead the way. On the road from greed to giving, love will guide us through the hard night. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way. On the road from greed to giving, love will guide us through the hard night. Once more, everybody. Love will guide us, peace has tried us. Oh, hope inside us will lead the way. On the road, greed to giving, love will guide us through the hard night.
Dear ones, as you go out into the world, with love as your guide, I invite that love to guide you first down into the social hall where you can meet our new members, have a cup of coffee, some very fancy cookies. That's right. You can grab a yearbook cheat sheet with pictures and little bios of the new members that joined us. You can get to know them a little bit. If you are new to this congregation and want to learn a little bit more, right after the service, gathering right over here to my right will be a place to start, led by Ivy. This is an opportunity to learn more about the congregation, learn more about Unitarian Universalism, and get to know us a little bit better. And more than anything, as you go out into the world, start with grace. Whether that is a few words of gratitude before you gather at table, or a few words of seeing another person's sorrow as they drive past you on the freeway. We can always bring grace to the table. May it be so, and amen. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go.